Crumlin is a densely populated area near to the city centre on the south side of Dublin City. It is known countrywide as it is the home of the largest children's hospital in the country, the Our Lady's Children's Hospital, that does amazing work on a daily basis, helping so many children and families' lives. The area is also known worldwide for their sporting endeavours. It is the birthplace of one of the most famous sports people on the planet in mixed martial artist, the notorious Conor McGregor. He is known to still train at the famous boxing club in the area, where he started his first ever combat training at the age of 12. This is just one of several sports that provide kids in the local area great opportunities. There are several successful GAA clubs in the area, and in terms of football, Lord Celtic have had a lot of success, especially with young talent. They played a big part in Damien Duff's career, and he went on to do okay for himself, didn't he? The big one though, and the pride of the community, is Crumlin United, the club that was founded in 1967. They are known as one of the biggest producers of football talent in Ireland, and a link with English Championship side Nottingham Forest is a sign of the good work that they are doing with their youth academy. This is shown by the part they played in the development of the country's finest goal scorer we have ever seen, Robbie Keane. So significant in fact that the club received compensation of €126,000 after an appeal to FIFA. This money could easily have gone into someone's back pocket, never to be seen again, but no. The club used the funds raised to build a new all-weather pitch with floodlights to works. This is another sign that the club is in the right hands with people who want to take it in the right direction, which is huge not only for the club but also for the community. Trevor Clark is another recent example of the great work they're doing at their youth academy. He started his schoolboy career at Crumlin United, and he has recently moved from the League of Ireland in a big money move to League One side Rotherham United. Now I think it's about time we take a look at the current crop of players at Crumlin United. The Leinster Senior League champions are managed by Martin Loughran. The manager believes that his side, who are in the Leinster Senior League, are at a disadvantage to the teams that are in the Premier Division and First Division when it comes to the FAI Cup, as they are at the start of their season, whereas the teams that are in the top two tiers are at the tail end of their season. I'm not sure if I fully agree with him on this point. I would have thought after a good pre-season and a few league games under their belts that the Crumlin side might be a bit fresher than a team like Bohemians, who are at the tail end of their campaign and might be a little bit leggy. But listen, who am I to question his thoughts on the game? I do think that this is definitely a talking point though. Martin believes that his team is more than capable of competing in the First Division after wins against the likes of Wexford Youths and Finn Harps in recent years. Bohs have played a couple of First Division sides so far in the Cup and haven't been overly convincing in those games. But now Martin's side have an amazing opportunity to test themselves on a huge stage against a top Premier Division side. After pulling off a very good 3-1 win over Lucan in the previous round, Crumlin were given a dream draw at home to Bohemians. Former pro Andy Reid went on Twitter to say that it was a great draw for the non-league club. Now let's take a closer look at this Crumlin side. Obviously a lot of people might not know who is in that team as they don't watch them week in, week out, but you might recognise a few names. Martin usually sets up his team in a structured 4-4-2 formation, but I think it could be slightly altered in this game. We'll touch back on that in a little bit. The first player we're going to look at, and probably the most recognisable player in this Crumlin side, is Craig Walsh. You might recognise him from the show back in the day, Football's Next Star, where he nearly earned a contract with Italian giants Inter Milan, but he finished second in that competition. There is absolutely no doubting his ability, although he has encountered some personal problems over the years, in particular while playing for Shelbourne. He seems to have gotten himself together, which is great to see, and he is really thriving in this Crumlin midfield, mainly operating in a wide area. He is certainly a player capable of playing in the League of Ireland and will be relishing the battle with this Bohs side and see it as a huge opportunity to prove himself. The next two players we're going to look at, and yes I did say two, as these lads are brothers of Irish international Robbie Brady. The first of the two brothers we're going to look at is Gareth Redzer Brady. The versatile player can play in a fullback area or in midfield, resembles his famous brother in that he has a sweet left foot as well. He and his brother Liam, who we'll talk about in a second, are both excellent set piece takers, and this will surely be something Crumlin will look to take full advantage of when given the opportunity in this quarter final. Now Liam is a more forward thinking player, capable of making an impact starting or off the bench. The midfielder has great pedigree, winning a schoolboy All-Ireland medal with Cherry Orchard before making the move across the pond to Stevenage. It may not have turned out as he would have liked over there, but still in his very early 20s there is still lots of opportunities out there for Liam to prove himself, and he might see this quarter final as the first chance to do that. Both brothers will surely be dreaming of following in Robbie's steps by scoring a late winner against all odds for the underdogs. The next player we're going to look at is defender Thomas Highland. The experienced centre back is a leader on and off the pitch. He's the captain of this side and he's actually quite a good ball playing centre back. He showed this in the most recent FAI Cup tie with Lucan United, where he picked up the ball at the back and played a diagonal crossfield pass that led to a goal. It was a really good assist and his experience will be crucial in keeping the talented Bohs forwards at bay for 90 minutes. Next player we're going to look at is Jake Donnelly, the forward player who links up the play really well for this Crumlin side. Another player who is really fond of a free kick. He'll be the one that Crumlin look to provide that quality in the final third. Jake definitely has the ability to make a difference in this game, but he has only just returned from injury, so we could see him being sacrificed in the usual 4-4-2 formation to go to a more structured defensive looking 4-5-1. It'll be interesting to see the approach Martin takes on this one, and a lot of eyes will be on that team sheet when it gets released. Next player we're going to look at is winger Alan McGreal. He scored the pick of the bunch in the last round against Lucan, wrapping up the tie with the third goal. Very nice finish. He usually operates on the left flank, but he's known to swap with Craig Walsh on occasion. The tricky winger will look to give the Bohs fullback that he's up against a difficult night. The next player is a familiar name and face for Bohemians. It is Dean Kelly. Dean Kelly is a former League of Ireland forward who had spells with Shelbourne and Bohemians, just to name a few. The 33-year-old was very prolific, in particular for Shelbourne. I remember watching him play for them a few times and he was always their standout man. So for him, he will not be fazed by this type of fixture, and it is of vital importance that he shares his experience among the dressing room with his teammates and guides them through this game. He is of course going to be a huge goal threat, and Bohs will be aware of that and will be keeping a close eye on him. Now the last player we're going to look at is a bit of a one to watch I've picked for this Crumlin side. Now this young man is quite unlikely to start the game, but he could have a huge impact off the bench. Young Sam Burgess is a pacey, tricky winger and could be Crumlin's secret weapon in this tie. He would be the last player an opposing fullback would want to see running at them with fresh legs in the latter stages of this game. If the tie is level or very close in the late stages of the second half, he could be the man that Martin looks to on the bench and sees as him being the difference. Now there are a couple of key points I wanted to make in regards to this match. Crumlin's opponents, Bohemians, still have an awful lot to play for in the league and are currently only sat 2 points ahead of Derry City in the race for European football. They have a crucial must-win home game coming up against Waterford on Friday night, and this must be their focus. Whereas Crumlin are only at the start of their season, so there's less intensity and pressure on their league games. Ever since this draw has been made, this will be the one thing that Crumlin players will be going to bed thinking about. This will be their main focus, whereas Bohs players could be thinking differently. Crumlin players will see this one as a once in a lifetime opportunity nearly. Some of them might not get this far in an FAI Cup ever again, so they will want to take this opportunity with both hands. The next point I want to make is that two of Bohs' best players have spent the week travelling with the under-21 Ireland side, Dara Leahy and Daniel Mandreu. It'll be interesting to see if they feature against Waterford on the Friday night, especially Mandreu, who picked up a knock in that Sweden game and came off as a result of it. You would have to think it's unlikely that manager Keith Long will feature either of the pair in the game against Crumlin on the Monday night. The next point I want to make is that the game is being played in Richmond Park, which I believe is instantly advantage Bohemians. A lot of the Crumlin players have been vocal on Twitter and social media in giving out about this, that the fact that they can't play their home games in Crumlin, which is a fair point. It's a bit of an annoying one for them because it's like giving up home advantage nearly by playing it in Richmond Park, but nevertheless it's a huge opportunity for the sides to play in a stadium in a neutral ground. But as I said, I think it's advantage Bohemians as they're used to playing in stadiums and they're used to the surface. They've obviously played on it this season already. Crumlin do have players who have played in the League of Ireland, so are used to playing in stadiums, but a lot of the side will not have played in front of a crowd this big before. They'll have to hope that this will not be an overwhelming experience for the majority of the group. Another pointer is how much rotation will we see from Bohemians. Obviously they have a game on the Friday night, as I mentioned, against Waterford, so they've a weekend to rest. So it'll be interesting to see the team that Keith Long picks. He has picked weakened sides in the FAI Cup kind of so far, so it'll be really intriguing to see the team that he picks, and I think this is a huge factor. Could complacency be an issue for Bohemians? Fans will surely be expecting a comfortable victory against the non-league side, and most are already looking forward to the semi-final date that's been drawn today against Dublin Derby rivals Shamrock Rovers. The question is, will the players be of a similar mindset? I'd be very surprised if they are. Keith Long is too good an experience of a manager to overlook this dangerous Crumlin side. There is no doubt in my mind that he's done his research and will have his side fully prepared for this game. With regards to this game now, Bohemians will obviously come into it as huge favourites and will most likely probably come out on top, but that threat of a giant killing is always so intriguing to me. Anyway guys, what do you think? Is the shock on the cards? A home tie against Shamrock Rovers is the prize for the victors of this quarter final. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe.